In the heart of a crowded city, where the noise of traffic mixed with the cries of street vendors, life carried on in its usual hurried pace. People walked with determined steps, carrying bags of groceries, office files, or simply the weight of their daily struggles. Yet among them sat a man who seemed invisible to most. His clothes were old and torn, his hair gray and unkempt, and his tired eyes reflected both pain and patience. His name was Rahim. Rahim had once been a hard-working man. He used to work as a carpenter in a small workshop, making wooden chairs and tables for families. Life was never luxurious, but it was decent, and he was proud of his ability to provide food for his wife and 2 children. But as fate often plays its cards unexpectedly, a sudden illness struck him in his early 50s. His hands, once strong and steady, started trembling, and the doctor declared that he had developed a nerve condition that would make fine work nearly impossible. Soon, the workshop owner replaced him with a younger man, and Rahim was left jobless. His savings were small, and his children were still in school. Day by day, survival became harder. His wife tried sewing clothes for neighbors, but it was not enough. Eventually, Rahim found himself sitting near the busy market with an old tin bowl, hoping that some stranger's kindness would help him buy food for the day. Most people passed by without noticing him. Some looked away deliberately, as if poverty was something contagious. Others dropped a coin or two without making eye contact. Rahim never begged with loud words, he simply sat quietly, his dignity intact, his eyes lowered, waiting for someone's heart to soften. One hot afternoon, when the sun scorched the pavements and sweat dripped from the foreheads of pedestrians, Rahim sat in his usual spot, thirsty and hungry. Hours passed, but his tin bowl remained almost empty. Just a few coins rattled at the bottom. His stomach ached with hunger, but more than that, his heart ached from invisibility. Then came a moment that changed everything. A young boy, no more than 12 years old, walked toward him. His clothes were simple, perhaps even worn, but his face carried a light of innocence. He was holding a small packet of bread that his mother had sent him to buy from the bakery. The boy paused when he saw Rahim. Unlike the others, he didn't look away. He stood there for a moment, observing the old man's frail condition. Rahim raised his eyes and saw the boy staring at him. Embarrassed, he quickly lowered his gaze again. But the boy smiled gently. Without hesitation, he tore the packet open, took out 2 pieces of bread, and placed them in Rahim's hands. Rahim's eyes widened with surprise. His lips trembled, and tears formed in the corners of his tired eyes. He tried to say something, but his voice broke. "My son," Rahim whispered, "this was your food. Why are you giving it to me?" The boy shrugged with the simplicity only children possess. "Because you look hungrier than me," he said softly. "My mother will understand. She always says that when we help someone in need, God gives us more in return." Those words struck Rahim like a beam of light. He clutched the bread as if it were a treasure, but more than the food, it was the boy's kindness that filled his heart. He blessed the child with prayers that came straight from his soul. "May your life always be full of happiness, may you never face the hunger I face today." The boy smiled again and walked away, leaving Rahim with not just bread but hope. That small act of kindness began a ripple. A shopkeeper across the street had been watching the scene quietly. He had seen Rahim many times but never paid attention. Yet, when he witnessed the little boy's generosity, his heart softened. That evening, he walked over to Rahim and offered him a plate of rice and curry. "Come tomorrow too," the shopkeeper said. "I will give you food every day." Rahim could not believe his ears. With trembling hands, he accepted the food, thanking the man again and again. Word spread among the nearby vendors. Slowly, people who had ignored him earlier began noticing him. Some brought fruits, others gave coins, and a few even sat to talk with him, learning his story. Rahim, who had once felt invisible, was now seen. And all of this had started because of one small boy who chose kindness over indifference. As days turned into weeks, something miraculous happened. A local community group, inspired by Rahim's condition, decided to raise funds to help him. They pooled money and arranged for his medical checkups. With proper treatment, Rahim's trembling hands improved slightly. Though he could not return to heavy carpentry, he started repairing small wooden toys and birdhouses, which the shopkeepers agreed to sell at their stalls. The dignity Rahim thought he had lost began to return. His wife no longer had to struggle alone, and his children continued their studies. One evening, as Rahim sat outside his small rented house, carving a toy bird from wood, he thought about the chain of events. It had all begun with that boy, whose name he later learned was Imran. The bread Imran had shared was not just food, it was life, faith, and hope woven together. Years later, when Imran grew up, he became a teacher. Rahim never forgot him. Whenever he met neighbors or children, Rahim would tell them the story, how a small boy's kindness had saved him from despair. And Imran, too, often told his students, never think you are too small to make a difference. Even a piece of bread can change someone's world. The city carried on with its rush, but somewhere in its heart, a quiet miracle of kindness had unfolded.